Ndamukong Suh returning to the Buccaneers now looks less likely because Tampa has agreed to terms on a one-year contract with veteran D tackle Akeem Hicks. Suh, of course, amassed 70.5 sacks since being drafted number 2 overall back in 2010. Shannon, if this is the end of Suh's career, is this enough to get him in the Hall of Fame?
No. It's too bad because when I saw him coming out of the University of Nebraska, Skip, I only saw 2 defensive tackles that dominated the college game like Ndamukong Suh, and that was Reggie White and Warren Sapp. I thought he was going to be one of those guys, Skip. And for whatever, and he got off to a great start. He was a first-team All-Pro as a rookie, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He was.
And he had some anger issues that it took him a while to get those under control. He played on the edge, and I thought sometimes he went over the edge. There are a lot of defensive players, and a lot of times you see this with offensive linemen, Skip, they go right to the edge, and they would look over, but they wouldn't go over the edge.
Yep.
And I thought there were times that Ndamukong Suh went over the edge. Skip, and playing the defensive tackle position, he's only missed 2 games, and that was because of suspension. When he stepped on Evan Dietrich Smith's head or his arm or something.
Yep. Could we see that, please?
Thanksgiving.
This is all anybody ever remembers.
I think
right?
was this Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. Yep. Lions, Packers. And then the second one was, remember when look at this.
He stopped him with his arm, yeah. I mean, he played with a rage and a ferocity.
Well, here's against Aaron Rodgers. Remember this one? Another Packers game.
Yeah.
Division rival. And Aaron goes down, and Suh says,
Oh, that you back there?
Stomp. I'll stomp on you. And those 2 plays become the memory of most fans of Ndamukong Suh, right?
Sometimes that's how you remember, Skip. Jim Marshall played 20 years with the Minnesota Vikings. He had a very good career for the Purple People Eaters, but he's remembered for one play, Skip.
He went the wrong way.
He went the wrong way. It cost his team 2 points.
Okay. My standards are severe and high for your Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I lean yes on him only because I think I'm still stuck in the college days because he won every award. I looked at all the awards. He won the Outland, the Lombardi, the Nagurski, the Bednarik, and AP Defensive Player of the Year. He was as dominating as I give you Reggie and Sapp. I give you those. But listen, this guy was a terror. And he took it right into pro football, and 3 times he made first team All-Pro. Well, that's pretty great. Maybe you need 5 or 6 of those.
Yes.
But he was such a force. He has 70 career sacks, and he did finally. He bounced, obviously, went to Miami, and then he was with the Rams, but he bounced to Tampa for 3 years. And thanks to Brady, thanks to the GOAT, he was an anchor of that defensive front, and they won it all. And you got to give him that. He became a made man in the end.
I think the thing is, Skip, is that he played in Detroit. You got Matthew Stafford. You got Megatron. You got Ndamukong Suh. And it's not equating to wins. If you look at what Sapp was able to do, that defense, they turned that thing around in Tampa. And you look at Reggie, what he did in Philly. Reggie's a different.
He is.
You covered Reggie. Reggie's a different animal.
I got it.
And that's what Skip. And I'm not saying, you look at Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was very dominant, but he wasn't Suh in college. Man, you go back and look at Ndamukong Suh and what he did to Texas, Skip, in the Big 12 championship game.
I know it. He could terrorize them. I got it. I'm leaning yes, but I get it. It's real close on him.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, his career might not be over, guys. Supposedly, the Raiders still very interested in signing him potentially. All right, still to come this morning here on Undisputed. Will Brady and Rodgers reign supreme on the golf course today? Or will it be Mahomes and Joe? Yesterday, Nick Saban said he should not have singled out Texas A&M when he said the school used name, image, and likeness deals to buy their top-ranked recruiting class. However, Saban added, quote, "I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong." Really? Shannon, is there any truth to what Saban said?
No, Skip. He needs to stop with the semantics. Just own it. Just own it. 8 of the last 10 years, Coach Saban has had the #1 recruiting class. In the year that he didn't, he finished 2nd, he finished 5th. If there was nothing going on, why did you make such a big deal out of it? If Texas A&M did everything by the book, why did you make such a big deal and made it a point to call out A&M by name?
He did.
He made it seem like A&M was the only college team that had an NIL deal. Nobody else had it. that somehow Texas A&M had an unfair advantage because they had these NIL deals and no one else did. When he was raving about his very quarterback potentially having a 7-figure deal and had never hadn't thrown a pass yet. He didn't say a word about NIL. Didn't have, Bryce Young, I think he probably has 7-figure. I think he's doing quite well. It was all key when it was him. And so if there's nothing wrong, why the fuss? If you want to say, well, I didn't say anybody did anything wrong. You made, look, and the reporter was quick to call it, you said they bought. You said they bought that entire recruiting class.
Every player. Bought every player. That was the quote unquote.
So if there is nothing wrong with it, why would you point that out? So it was kind of skipper, and I was thinking about it. I said, this kind of reminds you of what Lance Armstrong. Everybody that Lance Armstrong beat, they tested positive for drugs. Lance was the only clean one. I'm like, well, hell, how does the clean guy beat all the dirty guys? So now, all of a sudden, for all these years, Coach Saban, everybody doing something wrong.
Yep.
Coach Saban's getting number 1 recruiting class, number 1 receiver, number 1 running back, number 1 offensive line, number 2 defensive lineman.
Yep.
The top this, top that. But that class that Texas A&M got this year was bought and paid for. It's even if you didn't directly say they're cheating, it was the implication that you gave. And now you're trying to hide around semantics because of the blowback that you received. Just own it. If a player tried to do this with Coach Saban when he said he was wrong, and then all of a sudden he tried to get into a semantics, Coach Saban would be livid.
Yep.
The one thing that Coach Saban demands from his players are accountability. And now Coach Saban wants to skirt that very accountability that he demands from his players. Just own it, Coach Saban. You know what you were implying. You know what the implications were. So just own this one. Don't get out of here with these semantics. I don't do the semantics thing.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the high decibel, emotional objectivity from my partner across the table who loves him some Saint Nick.
Yeah.
We've called him for years and years. Are we now arriving at the point in which we can do away with the Saint in front of Nick?
Nah.
Will we continue to use Saint?
I'm still upset, but he better win a national championship.
One of those deals, because you're a Roll Tide all the way. You didn't go to Alabama, but you have
They're my
adopted
second
them.
favorite team, behind Savannah State.
Okay, I got it. I have told you from the start, I can't be a fan of this man because he is so smug, he is so condescending, he is so holier than thou. In the end, he can't be Saint Nick because he bullies the media a la Popovich in San Antonio and just gets away with it because he is, as Jimbo sarcastically said, the czar of college football. And I'm going to quickly read Jimbo's salvo from, what was it, a couple of weeks back now? He's going to talk today, so we may get another one. Jimbo said, this is May 19th, actually. He said, some people think they're God. Yeah. Go dig into how God did his deal, how he operates.
Yeah.
And Jimbo worked for God.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Yeah. You may find out about a guy a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it, and it's despicable, said Jimbo Fisher of St. Nick. Okay, now back to the quote yesterday. It is God defending himself. That's how it came across, right? Because he is hiding behind the semantics. Because if you go technically, he said, I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong. Because what is he's acknowledging is that the rules are no rules. That you can do exactly what A&M did. They didn't break any rules, and Jimbo fired back. I didn't break a single rule. Because all bets are off.
Thank you.
You can do this. You can recruit with it, and you can pay.
Well, you shouldn't be allowed to use the NIL as a recruiting tool.
No.
You do?
You do. And what kills me about the hypocrisy of St. Nick is that back during the season, he boasted several times about Bryce Young is making more than $1 million.
Thank you.
NIL. Well, did you use it to recruit him? Well, you probably did, but I don't know that for a fact. Then he boasted that there are 15 other players on the team who totaled $3 million in NIL deals, and I think that would probably be low.
Right.
But he was boasting about it because you need to boast about it because that's the way of the world.
But you know what, Skip, when they keep telling the NIL deals, I need to go to one of these college towns, and I'm going to need to see some kids on some billboards. I'm going to need to see some commercials because they keep telling me about the NIL deals, and I don't know what the hell they promoting, and I don't know what the hell they doing. So that you hide behind NIL, but I'm going to go to Alabama, I'm going to go somewhere, and I'm going to watch TV all night, and I'm going to see what kid pops up there promoting the car deal or some cereal.
Allegedly, they're being paid to use their likeness, right, by the car dealer.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to need to see it.
Okay.